everybody, we're back. This is Abby Glassenberg from Craft Industry Alliance. You joined us a little while ago and we were waiting for Charmaine. We had a little time zone mix up, but fortunately we were able to reschedule. So I'm very excited that Charmaine Jennings will be able to join us in just a few minutes to talk a little bit about the classes that she's going to be teaching at H&H Americas in Chicago. The dates for that show, by the way, are June 21st to 23rd. And Charmaine's actually teaching a master class as well, which are new this year. The master classes take place on Tuesday. Hey Charmaine, I see you here. If you request to join, I will let you in. And on Tuesday, you can take a 2.5-hour very small group master class with an expert instructor. We just have 4 of these master classes offered. Charmaine is teaching one of them, and it's an opportunity to really dig deep, do the work of the class in the class, so not like results. So I'm super excited for these master classes. If they go well, we'll probably add more of them next year, and it's been really fun to sort of figure out who should teach them and what they should be about. So, hey, how are you, Charmaine? So nice to see you.
Good, Abby. How are
I'm really
you?
glad we got to reschedule. Sorry about our little time zone mix up earlier, but it's great to see you and so glad to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so sorry. For some reason, I thought it was going to be 2:30 my time, and I got that totally mixed up. I'm
I
happy
make
we're
that
able to
mistake
make
all
that
the
work.
time. So I'm so happy to meet you, and I would love for you to tell us first a little bit about your business, what it is you do at Strategic Charm, what it's all about, and then we'll dig into what you're going to be teaching at H&H Americas.
Absolutely. So as Abby mentioned, I'm the founder of Strategic Charm. We are a boutique marketing agency based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, right in the middle of Canada. And we provide marketing services for a variety of clients, from small businesses to large organizations. And we typically help people either build a strategy they can implement on their own, whether that includes social media, blog writing, email marketing, things like that, or we build a strategy and do it on their behalf. So actually writing their content, scheduling it, and engaging with their audience. So those are the key things that we do. So I'm excited to be coming to H&H Americas and to be teaching crafters how to build their own marketing strategy, because it should be different for each person. I think a lot of people are trying to find a template or something that already exists, but really your strategy should be unique to your
so great.
business.
So are there particular like mistakes or assumptions that you often see small business owners come to you with, where it sounds like the first one might be that they think there should be like a set template that they can just latch onto and implement right away? Are there other things that they think that should be true or should be easy, or just sort of overall kind of marketing blunders that folks are making that you see over and over again?
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things is not incorporating your personal brand. A lot of people are afraid to put themselves out there. They'll talk about their products, they'll talk about the services, which is great, but people these days want to see the face behind the brand, especially when it comes to this industry, especially if you are a maker. They want to see the person who's actually using their hands to put together these items, because they feel more connected to the brand, more connected to the individual, and more likely to want to make a purchase, right? So a lot of people are shy of being on camera and doing a live video or being in their Instagram stories. A lot of people are shy to show pictures of themselves on their feed, and your face is the main thing that separates you from other businesses who are doing something similar, right? Because as much as we think we are all super unique, we are to a degree, but there's always going to be at least one other person who's doing close to the same thing, right? The main thing that sets you apart from that is you, your personal brand, and your face, right? So I feel a lot of people who are a bit more timid to put themselves out there, it's more of a missed opportunity,
And yet you can still probably, I know you can set boundaries so that, that doesn't mean necessarily that you're, putting your heart out there, saying personal things about your family, about yourself, vulnerable things that maybe you didn't want to share. And not, you don't have to feel like you have to share that kind of thing in order to share a personal brand. So you can kind of set up specific boundaries, what you are willing to share, how much you're willing to engage as a human being. But I think you're so right that we really connect with stories and we really connect with people.
Exactly. Figure out where your comfort levels are, and like you said, where your boundaries are, and kind of work within that kind of safe space, right? So think about who your target audience is. Think about who they are outside of being a current or potential customer. Do they love going for hikes? Do they go for bike rides? Do they go for movies? Do they love having a glass of wine with dinner? If you yourself have some of those commonalities between them, why not share some of those tidbits within your content as
That's
well to
awesome.
show
I
your
love that. I think
relatability?
that's incredibly true. And for those of us like me who are introverted and kind of shy, it can be a hard hurdle, but with those boundaries in place, I think it feels a lot more comfortable to share. So, and maybe it's not live video, maybe it's a
Exactly.
blog post or a newsletter, you know, little letter
Mhm.
or editorial from you. So there are different ways to do it too. It doesn't have to be performative on video with your face if that's not at all what you're comfortable with.
Exactly. Find what you're comfortable with. I always try to encourage people to step slightly outside of their comfort zone if possible, because I think that's where amazing things can happen. But of course, you want to go at your own pace. Start small and
Right,
work your way up
absolutely.
to where you
Okay,
want to go.
so you're coming from Winnipeg to Chicago to teach. You're going to be doing a master class. You're going to be doing a regular business class as well. I know there's openings in both of those, so folks should go and
Mhm.
sign up. So tell us a little bit about kind of the master class,
Mhm.
which those are new this year. I was just saying earlier in the video, they are really small class, just 10 people with an instructor. So you have that
Mhm.
time to actually like do the work, make the plan, whatever it is you're going to be doing. It's much more hands-on, 2.5 hours in that sort of workshop like
Mhm.
experience. So what can people expect to like do in that class with you?
So in that masterclass, like you just said, we are going to actually do the work. It's not about just me teaching you. It's about me walking you through the steps and actually having you start to build out a strategy tailored to you and your business, defining who your target audience is. A lot of people like to think their audience is everyone, but it should be a little bit more niche than that. It's setting out your content calendar and deciding which channels make the most sense for the type of products you're offering or the type of service you're offering and who your target audience is, because there's no need to be on every single platform. You need to be where your audience is and kind of grow from there, right? So we'll figure out what that looks like. And we're going to go beyond social media and think about your email marketing, think about blog writing as well, because those all play a part in your overall digital marketing campaign. And then start planning out some of your content as well. I feel like a lot of people are creating content on the fly, and sometimes that can work and there's a place for that. But when you're creating content on the fly, you're not being as strategic as you can be, and you're typically underutilizing different features that different online platforms have when you're kind of doing it on the fly in a rush, right? So I want people to learn how to be a bit more strategic and a bit more thoughtful with their content for advanced planning, which at the end of the day starts to save you
Right. And it
time when it
allows
comes to
you
your
to do
marketing.
things like reusing a really valuable piece of content in different ways on different platforms. So if you wrote that
Mm-hmm.
one blog post, how can you turn that into an Instagram story? How could you turn that into some newsletter content? How, so if you put in
Yeah.
that effort, what pins can you make from that for Pinterest? Like how can you really do it once and then make the most strategic use of that piece of
Mm-hmm.
content so you're not having to constantly churn out more and more, which can really lead to burnout.
Absolutely. That's the thing. A lot of people feel like they have to reinvent the wheel every time they put out a post, but it's exactly like you just said. Start with your larger pieces of content, like your blog, for example, and figure out how to repurpose that, right? So if your blog post is 10 tips for how to make XYZ, each one of those tips can be a singular social media post on your feed. That's 10 posts already for the month, right? So there is so much you can do to be more strategic and to save you time in the long run. Plus, when you are repurposing your content is flowing together a lot more cohesively than if you're just trying to plan every
Yeah,
post
I need to
individually
do
with no
more of
real
that myself.
connection.
Hearing you talk, I'm like, oh gosh, we we need more strategy as well. I mean, I think it's something almost everyone could use and could do better and more strategically. So really, this is where we are today. This is what we all need to focus on, or at least someone on our team needs to have this as their core focus so that we're really spreading the word. And I know it can kind of feel like, well, I already shared that. People are going to get bored hearing from me again on that same topic, but it's like, actually they need to see it multiple times in multiple places before it sinks in.
Absolutely. I think that's another thing that people stumble on. It's like, okay, well, I only offer 2 or 3 different products or
Right.
services. So how can I keep talking about these things in ways that's not going to overwhelm my audience? But for everything you offer, there should be at least a handful of different benefits, whether it's a benefit of the actual product or service or a benefit of buying from you specifically or working with you, right? So each one of those benefits can be different ways to sell the exact same thing, because maybe the first 2 benefits you shared with me about your scrapbooking materials, maybe the first 2 benefits you shared don't resonate with me, but now the third benefit you've introduced, that's something that, you know, I find value in, and now I want to make a purchase, right? So it's about trying to find different ways and different creative
Yeah,
ways to talk
exactly.
about
And
the
I
same
love that
things.
spin of it being about benefits to the customer and not about you as the shop owner. You really have to get into the
Mhm.
customer's shoes and see the
Mhm.
benefits from their eyes. So that's super valuable. So if you go to that masterclass, there's a couple of spaces left. So please come take a look. I know that H&H put the link to sign up for the show and to register for that in the comments here, which is super helpful. And you can also just go to hhamericas.com and find it there. And then you're also going to be teaching a business class. So these are a little bit shorter, bigger room, kind of more like lecture style, but still super valuable. And it's a 60-minute slot there, so a little bit of shorter time slot. So tell us, give us a little preview. Is that class going to be different, and how it might be different?
Absolutely. I think the main difference is it is going to be a bit more of an overview. I'm still going to make sure everyone who attends is walking away with tangible tips. I want everyone to be able to implement 3 different things that they've learned during that workshop or that seminar. The only difference really is that we won't have the capacity to kind of dive deep and actually start writing down your ideas and your formal strategy, but it's still going to be jam-packed with tips, right? I'm very much someone who wants to give you all the nitty-gritty and all the ins and outs of social media and marketing, and not so much of a bird's eye view that it's just general information. We're going to
Right. And
still
if
be
you
able to
have
dive
burning
deep into
questions
secrets.
about things that have to do with social media, this is the time to come in, ask an expert, get your questions answered. So I really encourage, and that's one of the benefits of coming to a show live where you're there with the expert. You can raise your hand and ask your questions and actually get real answers if you've been like struggling with a particular topic for a long time. So this is your opportunity to really do that. So I think that's great. So definitely register for Charmaine's business class at HMH Americas as well. And if people want to kind of learn more about you, because you do offer training for a DIY perspective for people who just want to learn and then implement
Mm-hmm.
on their own. And then you also offer done for you services, so that if you're like, I just don't even want to deal with this,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the time, I want to focus on what I'm good at, and I want to let her do all the rest. So tell us how we can sort of learn more about those in the meantime leading up to the show.
Absolutely. So I would
Okay.
recommend highly following us on Instagram at Strategic Charm Boutique. That is the online platform where we're the most active, and we share a lot of different tips and give a lot of different examples for how we can help you with your marketing for your business at all different levels. You can also visit our website, strategiccharmboutique.com, and there we have a ton of different blog resources for you to kind of learn more. Again, not just about social media marketing, but influencer marketing, new social media platforms, things like that. Otherwise, you can also just shoot me an email. My email is Charmaine at strategicharmboutique.com. Feel free to email me with questions
Awesome.
or any
Strategic
sort of
Charm Boutique
inquiries.
is where it's at. Thank you so much, Charmaine. I'm so glad we were able to connect today. Thank you to everybody who joined us, and we hope to see you at the show at H&H Americas in June in Chicago. Bye.
Perfect. I'll
Take
see you guys
care. Thank
then.
you,
Take care.
everybody.